Today I want to talk about how to reprogram the nervous system. There's a lot of information online about how to reprogram the nervous system, somatic exercises, deep breaths, exercising, weighted blankets, and all those things are good for resetting your nervous system and knowing how to get to a calm state, but none of them are reprogramming your nervous system. And believe me, I've done all the things to try to reprogram my nervous system. I'm a yoga instructor, meditation facilitator. So I do all these things, but until I started actually doing one thing that I do now, I wasn't reprogramming my nervous system. So what I've learned is you have to tell your nervous system a new story. Your nervous system is literally old, hardwire, running on a story. It's pulling things from the past, trying to predict the future, and it's going to keep running the same stories over and over and over again. So what you have to do is tell your nervous system a new story. Your subconscious does not care whether the story is real or not. That's why when you get triggered, it'll have you thinking something is happening in a moment that's not happening. It doesn't care if it's real or not. It just knows this is the story that this thing is reminding us of. So the best thing you could do is to use either your trigger state, and that's when your nervous system, to me, I think is the most heightened state. That's when your nervous system, all of your nerves, all of your antennas are open, and it is looking to prove itself right. Something in front of me is making me feel this thing, it's uncomfortable. Is it that thing? And it'll start projecting that thing out. So what I do is use those trigger states now to actually reprogram my nervous system, because like I said, it doesn't care if the story is real or not. You could also use the state of when you're in, I believe it's theta, and that's when you're right when you're waking up, like in between sleep and waking, and right before you go to sleep, in between going to sleep and waking, you're in a more receptive brainwave state. Also after meditation, it works. It takes longer. What I've noticed for myself is when I'm in that trigger state, when something happens and I get that anxious feeling from my stomach and it kind of goes out, that is the time to reprogram your nervous system, and it will actually believe you, because all it's doing is looking for a story. And what you have to do is, first thing you need to do is figure out what story your nervous system is telling you. So if you are somewhere and all of a sudden you say hello to somebody and they say hello to you back, but it's kind of a weird way, you get a feeling. Their tone was off. If you're an extra sensitive person and you're receptive to tones of voices and people's gestures, and all of a sudden it felt off today, now you're telling yourself, I'm rejected. So especially if you have a rejection sensitivity, what you need to do is come up with, now you have to have these things ready before the trigger. You're not going to be able to do them while you're triggered. Your frontal cortex is just frozen. It cannot comprehend. It cannot be logical. It can't make these things up at the moment. So you have to have this story already pre-written. So if you know that you have a rejection sensitivity, what you need to do is write out 3 things that shows the opposite of what it means to be rejected. So come up with 3 stories in a way in your life that you felt like you were accepted, you felt like you were taken in, you felt like you were cared for, and have those things available to you. So when your subconscious mind, in that moment when somebody says something that you feel a certain type of way and you feel rejected, all of a sudden you can say, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this. This is how I'm not rejected, 1, 2, 3. So if you have I am not enough kind of core wound, you have 3 things that you tell yourself of how you know you are enough, how you show up as being enough. I am worthy. 3 things of like, hey, I'm just a human being. I'm worthy of being here. I am worthy because I show up. I'm a great friend. I'm worthy because I actually have genuine care and compassion for people. So you're going to tell yourself those things in that moment when you're at a heightened state of awareness. And when you do that, if you have a core wound, it normally takes about 21 days for you to consistently do that. Now, you might not be triggered every day. Hopefully you're not triggered every day. So you will be also doing those things in the meditative state, in the waking morning when you first wake up or when you go to sleep. The first thing you do when you get up is you're going to say those things to yourself out loud. What I did was had a whiteboard right by my bed. So the first thing I would do before I went to sleep and woke up, I saw those things. So it was already kind of there. And I knew it was working because I had a dream that wasn't a great dream. And all of a sudden I started seeing my opposites in the dream. I was like, no, I'm worthy of this, I'm that. So it's like my subconscious, even in my dream, started affirming me in the positive way. So this is not like I know this works because I did it. And I had a whole lot of stuff that my mind was telling me that was not true. So I just wanted to make this video because I think a lot of people talk about how to do these things, and some of these things they do work, but if you have legit, and I don't want to say legit because everybody's trauma is legit, but if you have a deep trauma, deep core wounds that go back to your childhood that keep playing over and over and over again and keep playing the story over and over again, and even though you want to and you have done the work to actually stop those things playing, but in the moment they still play, you need to do deep reprogramming, deep subconscious reprogramming. And there is no amount of meditation, there is no amount of yoga, there's no amount of just saying affirmations over and over and over again that's going to get you there. Like, there is actual work you have to do, and it will take some time, but you will get there. You will start to notice the changes, and the changes will give you the momentum to keep going. So the first thing to do is notice what your triggers are, notice what stories your subconscious tells you, come up with 3. If you can only come up with 1, come up with 1 and just say that thing over and over again. If you come up with 7, that'd be amazing, but just like pick your biggest core wounds and the story that is telling you. Have those things that you can say the opposite, so when it happens, so now you can start reprogramming your nervous system. Because like I said, the nervous system, the subconscious does not care if the story is real or fake. So you might as well write your own. So write your own in those moments where you feel like you know that you're in a heightened state of awareness. That's when you go right in and you basically are hijacking your own nervous system and rewriting the story. It doesn't know, it doesn't care, it just wants to play a story. So make the story your own.